What's up, gamers? At that dog. Yeah. I woke up this morning and I was like, yeah, I have a late start at work today, so I might as well do a little art stream. Because I need to do some art, but am I super motivated to draw it? Not exactly. Just shooting it. Trying to make sure everything works. Really, with this first like little bit of stream is so just make sure that everything do be working right. Should be. Okay, yeah. It's like it's working. I don't have any big plans for what I'm gonna draw. It's just kinda gonna be whatever. Try to find a good place to set up my mic as well, so then it's not in my way. Because it's kind of high up, so it hits off my hat. Because when my headphones broke, I got my roommate's old headset, but for some reason it's really big on me and it doesn't sit properly unless I'm wearing a hat. Or sometimes what I'll do instead is put a hood up, which I might go do. I could quickly go change this and then my hat isn't hitting off my fucking mic constantly. It's not good for like games where I need sound cues, because it ends up blocking. Also, I'm gonna change the background because it's slightly too bright for me. There we go. Oh, I just realized I have like a coffee spill on my drawing tablet. That is not good. My drawing tablet's really just a second monitor to me. That's what it gets used as most of the time. I'm not drawing, it's just second monitor. Which I really like. You know, I'm gonna just use one of my templates for now. What did I just move? In. Because can it be fucked doing anatomy? No. And that's why over time I've drawn bases that I can just kind of... Oh, there we go, base done. I've also just put the soundtrack to feeding on. I keep hitting shit off my... It's not even almost my hat, it's like the side of my earphones I'm hitting off my mic. That should be about right. So I used to never do like all this for like plays and stuff, especially the ears, considering most of my characters don't actually have ears. But I started doing it just as a good landmarking thing, and where other things should go. Like also, the whole head area needs to be moved forward a bit. I just... like more like about there. The only thing with using a base is as I'm getting better, then they become so outdated that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need to redraw them at some point. But the act just is a good jumping off ground for when I don't want to draw anatomy as much. And I just kind of want to jump straight into actually drawing characters. A bit too high. To be honest, I didn't even think of who or what I'm gonna draw, so I think I'm just gonna draw a one character. Because since it's one character, I can kind of do whatever I want. But recently I tried to do a gender bend version and draw as a female, and it just basically looked the same. Because when I made my character, I very much didn't care about gender. I just went, yeah, what do I think and what I want on it. I did also recently update from the original version of Clip Studio to the newest. And, like, you don't need to. I don't think there's, like, any huge differences that's revolutionary. But it has been quite nice seeing some of the new features that they did add. Like, one thing that I can do is, if I draw a line, and then hold it, it kind of auto-corrects it. And you can also edit. Check what I like. But the only problem is a lot of my drawings is more like these, you know, little scratch marks, rather than just coherent one lines. So it's not like a huge help to me, but it is quite cool. I have thought that, like, maybe I might need to start doing line art again. I don't really like doing line art, and that's why I kind of cut it out of my process of making art. Because if you don't like doing something in art, you usually can just avoid it. Like, if you're just like, yeah, I don't think that part of drawing fun, you know, you can usually just avoid it. Just not. That's how I've been with line art. You'd be surprised how easily it actually works. Which means a lot of the time my art is a bit messy. I don't know. I do definitely feel like for how long I've been doing art, I should really be better at it. Well, some like, yeah. One thing that I do want to start getting better and that I have been slowly doing is more like backgrounds and whatnot. I want to get better at traditional art. Just so then I can draw anything better. Because the skills that I learned from drawing characters like this help me draw other things as well. And just see stuff in better ways. Because recently I've been drawing dogs. And dinosaurs. For dinosaurs I can just kinda... And then you can work on the body from there. Dogs, I normally do like this, and then you can kind of work on it from there. See, this part of drawing dogs always fucks me up, because when I'm normally trying to do them, I do like something like that. But the thing is that most dogs, it goes up quite sharp and then goes back down because they're eyebrows. And it's like, do I be realistic with that? But it's quite hard to draw, so yeah. But one thing for especially face forward is that I have started doing this, and then basically the gap between these, you can kind of do this, and then okay, that would be where the ears are. And you have a part where you can do eyes. And you have the nose. So that comes round. And you get ears. And I definitely done these too wide, but what I'd probably do is bring it more in, so it'd be a bit more But I feel like my art really hasn't changed much within like 5 years. I feel like even when I've gotten better, I've not gotten much better. But I feel like it's something that a lot of artists go through, is just a bit of self-doubt with their drawings. Just been like, yeah, I'm not fucking good enough. And then just need to draw this on the other side, which is always the harder part. Getting consistently Doing a good eye on one side and replicating it the other, the bane of art. Every time I do it, I always do it too small in this side. And a little fucking wonky, apparently. That's a bit more aligned to what I fucking need. I also want to try and do noses better, because right now, what I normally do is like this, like a little button nose. But it works really well with deers, like deer type characters and whatnot, but it a lot of the time looks out of place. And I don't really like just the you just going boom boom, yep, nose. Or just dunk. I can understand it. A lot of the time it can work really well. Especially because a lot of people don't actually focus on the facial features apart from eyes much. So it can end up being... Some people literally just do a dot. And it works. And it does look nice. But I like drawing noses and shit. I've also, well, at work, while drawing on my sketch pad, I've started just to draw. I end up scrolling like fucking Instagram and whatnot, and then just drawing while I listen to people. Because a lot of people that like end up watching on TikTok and not TikTok, Instagram, ends up just being information stuff. Which lets me get a lot of random facts. It's one of the things I like to do is just amass a bunch of random useless information that I'm like never gonna use. Let's see. I like drawing hair because it's something you can intentionally be quite messy with a lot of the time. And it's like structure, yeah, you don't fucking need it. Luckily I don't really need much in like this part and this part. So my ears will go there. Just cover up anything. I'm gonna bring it from behind the... I was about to say collar, but it's not. I mean, it is a collar. I forget, like, is shackled. So my brain kind of automatically went to what to call it. My neck restraint. There's so much cluster going on around the face. Let's see. A little bit extra here. Because for some reason I thought I was going to go behind. Even though it's a bit further back. I mean, I guess it would be a bit more forward. We kind of still be some stuff in front of it, but not as much. I also will get better drawn stuff like far. Because it's not super hard from what I've already done, but I'm on the same level. I'm supposed to put the ears on another level just so then I could get rid of parts. But probably using layers and shit. All my homies love accidentally drawing in the wrong fucking layer. No hands. This one will be my program scheming sheet. One of the next things that I'm going to work on, I don't know exactly when, really just when I'm next motivated to do it, will be a new reaction PNG. Since I've not used this one a whole lot, but it is already a little outdated to how I normally draw. Which isn't really saying much. In about a few weeks, these drawings won't really accurately do my style of what I currently draw. There we go, I mean, face down. Now for colouring. Yippee! I recently got new pencils and whatnot. New pens. The problem is I mostly just use, you know, thick one colour for putting down paint, and then just now I'm using this for like shading and whatnot and texturing, but I'm thinking of changing that and like just the whole way I do shading into a bit more probably cell shading for now. But with any change, it does take one, a bit of time, and two, a little bit of trial and error just to see what you enjoy. And it's one of the reasons why I use this, is that I enjoy it. I like kind of the texture and whatnot. I have thought about doing like speed paints and all that, but it's just one of those things that I want to get better at art first, because I'm just not exactly good enough to do shit like that yet. I think the head's leaning a bit too forward. Like, I feel instead of it being here, the middle, it should really be like here. Could I change it? Yes. Am I going to? No, because you can't be fucked. Oh, and since I done the DRG stream the other day, I went and done the hardest difficulty one. Done all Depth 4. Certainly hard, but not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a hell of a lot worse. That's a bit more my colour. I also might stream Clear Obscure, for the main reason if I've not completed it yet. I'm still, I believe, on the first chapter. So there's so much left to do in that. Also, I get better drawing. Like, I was showing earlier how I'm learning to draw animals and whatnot, but it's... So then I can draw one Pokemon and two Monster Hunter. I want to be able to do some artworks and stuff in that. Especially if I do Pokemon, just probably on Twitter get some suggestions of people's favourites and then just draw a good amount of them. But of course I'd do my favourite, Zoroark, the goat, the trickster. I'd probably do Zoroark, Scolipede, and Stoutland, and then do a bunch of other people's favourites. I'd probably do Garchomp and Gibble, because I know one of my friends, that's their favourite. I do really like learning like what Pokemon is people's favourite. Because sometimes you never expect it, and sometimes it's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Although whenever I ask like someone's favourite thing, especially when it's so varied as Pokemon, I usually like to ask like, oh yeah, what's your top 3? Because sometimes picking number 1 favourite is so hard. Because for me, Zoroark and Zoroark are like my top, but then also have Scolipede, which is basically almost at the same level as them two. Then there's also the... I forget its name, but the fire bug type moth. I also love him. He doesn't quite reach into my favourites, like my top 3, but he is certainly close. I've played plenty of the Pokemon games and I do really like Pokemon, however, I don't think I've completed many. And kind of like 2 completed runs in Pokemon. 3 or 4 actually. I was just thinking there and like, what ones have I done? And I think I've Pokemon Black 2, Sun and Moon, well, Sun, and then I went back to redo Black 2. Maybe it was white. Maybe it was white I was playing because I got Reshiram. It's got a bit too late. I could use that, so then it's like the same. See, I don't exactly know how fucking Color Theory works yet. It is something that, you know, I try to pick up and stuff as I go, but I probably need to actually do like some sit down and fucking study type lessons. Because even though I've always drawn and whatnot, I never took art in school. I took it when it was mandatory, and that was it. Because I didn't like... Because you'd have to learn like, oh yeah, textures of fabric. And it was like, okay, I don't know. And so I never actually took art in school, although I do regret that. I do wish that I did, just so then I could learn more technical stuff. Because at the time I was like, yeah, this isn't anything that I want to draw. So, I just don't want to do it. But I kind of wish that I did, just so then I could have got better. Because for some reason, old dumbass me was like, oh yeah, I'm never going to need to use that stuff in drawing, Why would I take those classes if it's just not going to be something that I use? Learn about perspective? Cringe. And now I have to fucking slowly learn perspective and shit. I also want to take a forging class. Some blacksmithing. Because, I mean, I already do swordsmanship. I do archery. I practice with a balearic sling. Which is like David and Goliath. The sling and that. Which is like a fucking gun. Like, they don't emphasize how powerful those slings actually are. I've seen people attach onto the end the same thing they put on whips, so then it makes the sound as it breaks this sound barrier. Because fun fact, the first man-made thing to break the sound barrier was a whip. And it's caused right as at the end when you, like, when it's curled up, and then you whip it out, as soon as it reaches that end and that end bit whips forward, goes funk, it snaps the air at the right second for it to create a small sonic boom. I'm like, that's just fucking cool as shit. Yeah, like I already do so many medieval hobbies. I would like to learn how to do blacksmithing as well. I wish to forge my own blade. And just other random shit. I started talking in my head. It was like external dialogue, internal. Wow. And I didn't really think about it until just then when I was like, wait a second, I'm supposed to be fucking speaking. I need to get rid of some of these lines. There we go. Base. I think I'm gonna leave it here for now. This was just supposed to be a quick little stream anyway. I might finish this up soon, off stream, and then I'll post it over on Twitter. There'll be a link on my actual page if you want to go over to my Twitter, where I post art, you know, and I'm gonna start putting stream notifications and I'll post them over there just before I start streaming. So yeah, you should go follow me over there. I also started posting back on my Instagram, which I don't believe I have a link to, but it's just Zotua the Kusith. So you can also go follow me over there. I'm really bad at plunking shit. I think I want to do some friend slot games with some people. So hopefully we'll get that set up. I also want to start making... I might make some content from that and try to edit it. I feel like especially with other people I can, you know, there'll be more haha funny moments rather than when I'm all overdone. But that'll probably consist of like rounds, repo. I will do content warning because that creates small little videos which will be easy to make like shorts and all that off, which will be pretty nice. Also, I do some gambling with friends. I sure do love gambling. Anyway, I will let you all go. Yeah. I'll see you all later.